Hi, I'm Kevin Blanca. I'm part of the team which is developing ChemBench, and we just made a new release which makes it very easy to run ChemBench on new models and to test how good your models, how good different LLMs are in chemistry. And what I want to do now is to just test this new release myself for the first time with you, and in this way show you how to install and run and submit the results to a leaderboard, which is also brand new for this new release of ChemBench. And for this, I will do the same that I would also recommend that you do, which is you head over to Docs, which is GitHub Pages. So if we just go to this link here, which you can also find on the README of the repo, you can then go to installation, which I will also do now, and then copy paste this small snippet here, which will then just pip install ChemBench. And I have here now just a clean pipe environment, so you can see there's nothing in there, at least nothing crazy in there, just the default things. And I will now just pip install ChemBench in there and perhaps make it a bit bigger for you so you can read it. In the meantime, we can already head over to the how-to guides, which will explain us how to run ChemBench. And in this new version of ChemBench, this should be relatively easy, especially if you use one of the models that you can run using LightLLM. So LightLLM is this great framework that we use, and LightLLM enables you to use different LLMs in the same way. And for this reason, we can then support that you can just specify here a model name, and we then can test this model for you very easily. And so for this, we will just copy paste this snippet here into a new notebook. And today I want to test how good Claude 3.7 with this new without thinking mode is. And so I will now just make a new code cell here and then separate the inputs from the actual code. So I think it's this ChemBench demo environment I just created here. And so you can now just run the imports, and hopefully they all work for us. And then we can paste here the code that we also had in here. You see there's this one function here, which is a load .env, and this is because we need to provide some API keys. In this case, for Anthropic, if you want to use Claude, then you can get those API keys if you go to kind of console.anthropic.com, and then we can just make here a new key, which in this case we maybe call test demo ChemBench. And of course I would delete this API key here later, so you can of course now remember it, but I will delete it of course after that. And then we paste this key here, and this should now be finished. And let's perhaps just do it step by step here, and so we can also work us through the different functions here and what they do. So this is now just loading our environment variables. In this case, we just have the Anthropic API key. Then we can enable some logging, which will give us some more progress about how ChemBench is doing. And now there's some kind of change that we have in a new version of ChemBench, which is that the benchmark now lives on HuggingFace. And so if you call this function here, what will happen is that we'll pull a data set from HuggingFace. So if you go to HuggingFace, and we can just go here and then search for ChemBench. So you see here that we have this data set here, which contains the data set for ChemBench. And this is what we will then pull. It's grouped by topics, and we will pull by default all of the topics. Then the next part here is then what you would also do if you just use LightLLM. So in this case, we will have Anthropic, and then we will use Claude, and I will need to check what the full model name is for the new Claude model. Let's just see, thinking. So you're going to use the 3.7 model of Claude. So it's this one here. So we'll just copy paste this model name here, and then this is what we will then use for running a benchmark. There's one abstraction in ChemBench which we call prompter builder. So under the hood, ChemBench puts the questions into prompt templates, and with different templates for instruction field models or completion only models. And so you see that this will default here to instruction tuned model, but we also now support multimodal models which have a different prompt template format, and we also you can customize also here if you need to some of the pre and post processing of the prompts that will be created with a pipeline here. But by default, if you use one of the latest instruction field models, you can just paste in here name, and then we can run the benchmark, and so we can put the submission into a second cell here. So this will now run a while. It will start running the benchmark. What will also happen under the hood for you is that we will also run some LLM-based extraction. So by default, we have our extraction that is based on regular expressions. If those fail to find the answer in the completion of the model, we will then try to call an LLM and then extract in this way the output, and by default we will use the same LLM for doing so. And then this will now just take a while depending on the rate limits of the LLM, and you will then have this results object, and with this can then later submit this, which we will then see once this part here is finished. Okay, so now we are pairing done. So we have now topic 9 out of 9 completed, and we also see that the cell is here now done successfully. So we can now to see how we can upload this to the leaderboard, and for this we have a utility function. You can just say benchmark submit. This will take this results object, which is a list of dictionaries, and then when we call submit, this will open the browser for us with the leaderboard here, which is this interactive table where we can filter in different ways, and of course also sort results and do stuff like that. And we also will have then the instructions being printed out here, which are relatively easy. You go first to leaderboard, go to submit, and then fill some form there and upload this file here. So we'll first get us this file in our file browser, head over to submit, and then we will see that we can drop this file here in this field. I will now just do a test submission, so I will just do enter something very quick here. Let's just perhaps check what the timestamp was of this model that we used. It was this here. And then we can click on submit. This will now run a few checks, check if all the UUIDs of the questions are in there, if the format is correct, and then after the checks passed, it will update the dataset of the leaderboard, and then you should see a result appear on the leaderboard. So, okay, and so we now see the leaderboard's updated, and we see that our new model actually is at the top of the leaderboard here, even without the thinking mode. So next submission could be that we also use thinking in Claude 3.7, because by default the API disables thinking. But this was basically the entire pipeline from how to go from installing ChemBench to then having an entry for a new model on the leaderboard. And if you would like to then do something more advanced, you will have more advanced how-to guides here in the docs. You can here see an example how to do this with a model that runs on your local infrastructure with some model running on your GPU, or how to benchmark then even a multimodal model running locally. And you can do all of that with ChemBench, with restarting on the way and different debugging options. Let us know if there's anything else you'd like to do with ChemBench, if you need any help. We are there.